It's me, Anita. Welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to just have a sit down and kind of chit chat with you all, as I haven't been feeling the greatest. I've been feeling kind of down and like frustrated and just, burnt out also and tired. So I was like, why don't we kind of chat about self-care? Because over the weekend on Sunday, I actually did some self-care, and I want to share my views and what I did. Come along while I share with you what my self-care day looks like and what I think about self-care in general. I just want to first mention that wow, self-care has been everywhere. It's really popular. Like, I see it everywhere on social media and the mainstream, and it's great because I believe that we all should practice self-care and care about ourselves, because we are important as everyone else is important. And there's one thing about self-care being very popular and all over the internet and everyone's practicing self-care is that for me, I'm pretty bad at this, but I feel the need to copy everyone's way of self-care by doing these things that I see in the media. That's how I will care about myself. And I realized that sometimes, spending money and doing those things is practicing self-care for me, but there are days like last couple months, like last week, that is not caring for myself. That's not practicing self-care. It's probably going the opposite. And I just want to share with you kind of how I practice self-care. And this is just my opinion, because to each your own. We are all in different stages in our life. We all need different things, and how we practice self-care is also different because we're all different. We're going through different things. We live in different environments. No one's the same. So like here I am sharing what I do, like what I did on Sunday. It might necessarily not be for you, but it worked for me during that time. Anyways, I still want to share mine, how I practice my self-care, especially when I'm kind of sad, I'm down, and just stressed out and burnt out. So on Sunday, I was in bed for a couple of hours, even though I woke up, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was frustrated because I was in between of wanting to be productive and focused and like working towards my goals versus me feeling down and just empty, and like I just did not have the capacity to do anything. So I laid in bed for a few hours and decided to, use that day to practice self-care. And the first thing I did was let it all out, be vulnerable. And oftentimes for me, I like to bottle everything up, and then eventually it gets a tip and it's so overfilled that I explode. And that is not lovely, especially if I do it outside or in places that I don't feel safe in, and I would like to avoid that. So for me, the first thing I decided to do to care for myself is let it out, be vulnerable. I'm in a safe space, my home, where I feel safe, I feel comfortable in my environment, that I could be vulnerable, let it all out. If I want to cry, I'll cry. If I want to be angry and scream, I'll scream. Whatever it is that I'm feeling. And I actually don't know what I was feeling. I was kind of feeling empty, but also like everything. So I allowed myself to feel and just be in a little bubble of emotions in a safe space, and it really helped. And it was actually a great idea that I did that, because I was probably on the verge of breaking down at any point, and it wouldn't be great if I did it with someone and I didn't mean what I said. So doing this in my own home was definitely a self-care practice for me. And yeah, that was the first practice of self-care I like to do, going back to 6 years ago when I had my stroke, to really just allow my emotions to come out and just feel. So the second practice I did on Sunday was to be gentle and kind to myself. No, don't pressure myself to do something. And during that time and my headspace and my capacity, I will feel worse if I did. For example, like I wasn't going to lift weights or run a marathon, even though I know that working out really helps and it's a great form of self-care. Instead, I was kind to myself. I opt for 10 minutes of yoga and just cleaning, and just knowing that I moved my body into something was really nice. And to add on to the cleaning, my house is, in my terms and my view, a bit messy. When my house is very decluttered, or my environment in general is very decluttered, I feel decluttered inside and it makes me feel gross. And yeah, that's so for practicing self-care. It was hard for me to clean, but I haven't folded my laundry from a week ago, and I really needed to do laundry too because I ran out of clothes. So yeah, that was like the bare minimum, and I was kind to myself. I ended up doing just that, and it took like 5 minutes just to put in the washer. And then after that, I just had this feeling of wanting to clean, and I honored that. So I ended up cleaning the house, which was great. I took breaks and I dabbled in cleaning different sections of the house. There's no routine, no plan. I just listened to myself. I was kind to myself. If I wanted to clean, I'll clean. If I didn't, I didn't. And I ended up cleaning, and I decluttered my space, and I felt a lot better. And that is really great because I know that I'm carrying my body and taking care of me, and that is great. And the third self-care practice I did on Sunday was to plan to do nothing. I'm a planner. I love planning. I love my Notion. I love to do to-do lists. I love having a journal. I'm that type of person that loves to plan. Without a plan, I can't focus. I'm all over the place. I'm just a mess. And I knew that my mental capacity that day to do nothing. So I planned to do nothing that day. That was my to-do list. And the feeling of just checking it off and taking it, it was a win-win solution. I satisfied my planning part of me that I really liked, and it didn't frustrate me because it was in my journal and my to-do list. And I actually took the time to really relax and unplug and just do nothing, and it was great. I made myself a cup of hot chocolate, cuddled with my dog, and I literally did nothing. It was great. I loved it, and I got to take it off, so I satisfied both things, and it was great. It was a really great Sunday self-care day, and I just wanted to share my experience with you all. And I just want to say that we don't need, well, for me especially, because this is also for me, to not feel pressure to do the same thing as people, thinking that it'll fix my problems, because that's what I thought. Like, if I do those self-care practices, I'm gonna fix my own, I'm gonna fix the issues I'm having, and then I will increase my focus and increase my productivity. But it didn't work, so I took it upon my own hands and really went back to my roots and really reflected on what really works. And by no means that I'm gonna do this the next time around too. I might not. It really depends on the time of place that I am in at the time. Maybe the next time my self-care day would be, going out with my friends, eating good food, or it could be, going to a spa and taking care of my body and taking a bath, or it could be painting. But what I needed last week was this, and I realized that it doesn't have to be the same thing. Practicing self-care is to each your own. It is customized to yours, and what's most important is that you're actually caring for yourself in the best way possible. And sometimes, we don't know how, we don't know what is the best way to take care of ourselves. So self-care being so popular now is great because we get all these ideas, but then you also want to avoid decision fatigue. So it's actually quite difficult. But I realized over the years, the one thing that really is important with practicing self-care is really to acknowledge how we feel, let ourselves feel, and really accept how we feel. I think that is the most important, and to really overall get to know ourselves. I think because I do believe that we don't really know ourselves truly, and it is easier said than done, because through many years of me trying to work on this, I'm still learning and I'm still growing. That's also the part of it. Sometimes we just need a little bit of reminder to reflect and just acknowledge how we are, and that it is okay to feel. It is okay to not be okay, and to just take care of yourself in the best way possible. And that doesn't have to be like others. It's what works best for you. So that is it for today's video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, please share the video, and subscribe. Until the next video, peace.